If you think Bronny James is guaranteed to be the next big star in basketball, think again. He is currently the most hated NBA player. As the son of LeBron James, one of the greatest players to ever play the game, he has been under pressure. But here's the real question. Is his last name more valuable than his game? How has the Lakers' mismanagement backfired? Let's get into it. Weight of expectations. Bronny James, the eldest son of NBA superstar LeBron James, has carried a heavy burden from a young age. Born into the spotlight, his life has been anything but ordinary. As soon as he picked up a basketball, comparisons to his legendary father became inevitable. LeBron's career, which includes 4 NBA championships, numerous MVP awards, and countless accolades, casts a long shadow. For him, every game and every play were dissected and analyzed, often against his father's immense legacy. While many athletes thrive under such expectations, for Bronny, it has been a constant challenge. From high school to college, the pressure mounted as both critics and fans scrutinized his every move. His skill set was often examined closely, raising questions about whether he had what it took to succeed alone, or was merely coasting on his father's name. These comparisons created a toxic atmosphere for Bronny, forcing him to navigate the harsh world of public opinion. Every success was celebrated, but his failures were magnified, often leading to severe criticism. People accused him of gaining advantages from nepotism, suggesting that his sports opportunities stemmed from LeBron's influence rather than his talent. This relentless cycle of expectation and judgment compelled him to constantly prove himself, making it difficult for him to establish his own identity within the sport. Despite these obstacles, he has demonstrated resilience, emphasizing his focus on improving his game instead of ignoring the noise. As one NBA executive put it, he's made huge strides. He has a great build and natural strength. He has fluid movement in his jumper, but has no dip. In time, he will be a good shooter. His handle and passing translate to an off-guard at the next level. There's no denying his pedigree and athletic ability. He plays the right way. Yet, with each passing season, the pressure continues to grow, and it remains to be seen how much longer he can balance his legacy and his aspirations. Early controversies on the court. At the college level, one notable incident occurred during a USC Trojans game against the UCLA Bruins. The match was intense and emotions were running high. Bronny became embroiled in a heated confrontation with UCLA's Adam Bona, which escalated rapidly, resulting in Bona's receiving a technical foul. The referee's decision to penalize Bona left many questioning whether he received preferential treatment due to his renowned last name. This incident ignited a wave of criticism, with many suggesting that the referees favored Bronny, granting him an unfair advantage on the court. Accusations of favoritism were nothing new for the James family. LeBron has faced similar critiques throughout his career, with opponents frequently alleging that officials have given him special treatment. It was a stark reminder that the expectations placed upon him extended far beyond his performance. While illuminating his potential, the spotlight cast shadows of doubt and criticism. Moreover, was he genuinely a skilled player in his own right, or was he merely benefiting from his father's legacy? Critics contended that his on-court accomplishments could not be separated from LeBron's influence, complicating Bronny's efforts to establish his identity in the sport. However, this controversy would not be the last. It would set the stage for the kind of scrutiny he would continue to encounter throughout his career. Nepotism accusations. As Bronny James began to make his way into the NBA, the conversation surrounding him shifted again. This time, the focus was on accusations of nepotism. The primary argument was that his spot on the Los Angeles Lakers roster was more about his famous last name than his basketball ability. Fans quickly took to social media, expressing their frustration with comments like "nepotism at its worst," suggesting that Bronny had only made it because of who his father was, not based on merit. Many believed someone who had not yet proven himself at the highest level shouldn't have been allowed to play in the NBA. Being drafted in the second round as the 55th pick, signed a guaranteed 4-year contract with the Lakers, something very few second-round picks receive. Typically, second-round picks are given non-guaranteed deals, which leave them vulnerable to being cut at any time. To many basketball fans, this felt like an injustice. Basketball has long been considered one of the rare arenas where talent and hard work determine success, regardless of who you know or where you come from. But with Bronny, it seemed like his last name had afforded him an unfair advantage. Austin Rivers spoke about the challenges he faced, saying, "I hope for the kid that he can not only play in the NBA, but play somewhere where he can carve out his own identity. His name's already Bronny. Everything we talk about him goes back to his dad. He plays at USC and his dad plays down the street for the Lakers. It's just an insane situation. I'm a fan of Bronny, but I hope he goes somewhere else. I really do." This comment captured the difficulty Bronny faced, how to break free from his father's immense shadow while establishing himself as a skilled player. Instead of giving in to negativity and blame, he chose to persevere. Rather than allowing doubt to overwhelm him, he concentrated on demonstrating his value and resolved to prove that he earned his place on the court, not due to his father's legacy, but because of his abilities. Summer League struggles. The NBA Summer League in Las Vegas was supposed to be an opportunity for Bronny to prove everyone wrong and show that he belongs. However, the Summer League turned out to be disastrous for Bronny James. Among the players who received significant playing time, he was statistically one of the least productive, averaging 7 points and 1.5 assists per game, with a 9% three-point shooting percentage and a 29% field goal percentage. Those numbers are objectively poor. Once again, NBA fans are looking at this and thinking, he wasn't good in college, and he wasn't good in Summer League, so how on earth will he be able to compete with the best of the best in the NBA? In just a few months, the preseason disaster. Just as everyone was about to write off Bronny after his rough Summer League, he gave fans a reason for optimism by finishing the tournament with 2 solid performances. However, those 2 games weren't enough to overshadow his disappointing showing as he struggled to make an impact. His critics were further vindicated during the NBA preseason, where he played 6 games with the Lakers but posted underwhelming results. In one game, he scored 2 points on 1 of 6 shooting against the Timberwolves. In another, he was scoreless in 13 minutes against the Suns, and again had 0 points in just 6 minutes against the Bucks. He managed only 2 points in 9 minutes against the Warriors and 4 in 14 minutes during a second matchup with the Suns. Throughout the preseason, he averaged only 4.2 points per game, shooting 29% from the field and an abysmal 8% from three-point range. Once again, it was clear that Bronny struggled to keep up, and many fans felt he was receiving opportunities he hadn't earned. Father-son duo. He began the season with the Lakers and made his NBA debut against the Timberwolves. That night, the moment we had all been anticipating finally occurred. The first father and son duo in NBA history shared the court. This was meant to be a historic moment in the sport of basketball. LeBron James was on the court with his son during an NBA game. Yet, it felt inauthentic, forced, and cheap. That's why it wasn't celebrated as it should have been. It felt like Bronny could have been anyone, making it less impressive when it seems undeserving. After their debut game together, LeBron said, "It's always been family over everything. To be able to have this moment working still and working alongside my son, it's one of the greatest gifts I got from the man above, and I'm going to take full advantage of it." The Courtside incident. Not long after joining the NBA, Bronny James was embroiled in another controversy, this time off the court. During a high-profile Lakers-Nuggets game, an interaction between Bronny and a Courtside fan became the subject of intense debate. While sitting courtside, a fan wearing a flashy gold chain began taunting Bronny, reportedly shouting things like, "We own your father." In response, LeBron James didn't hold back. He fired back with a sharp retort, mouthing, "Yo, chain's fake" at the fan, drawing the attention of everyone nearby. The exchange quickly went viral, sparking widespread discussion on social media. Was it a sign of immaturity or a demonstration of growing confidence in the face of adversity? For some, the incident revealed a side of Bronny they hadn't seen before. assertiveness, and a willingness to stand his ground. This was seen as a positive shift, as many fans had previously labeled him passive or overshadowed by his father's larger-than-life presence. To others, however, it was yet another example of a young athlete losing his composure under pressure, proving he wasn't ready for the intensity of the NBA spotlight. Critics pounced on the moment, questioning Bronny's maturity and ability to handle the media storm that often comes with the territory. G League stint. After a brief stint in the NBA, the Lakers sent him down to the G League. This decision aimed to allow him to develop his game further, away from the overwhelming pressure of the NBA spotlight. His debut for the South Bay Lakers wasn't exactly a highlight moment. In his first game against the Salt Lake City Stars, he scored only 6 points, recorded 4 assists, and struggled with his shooting, making just 2 of 10 attempts from the field and missing all 5 of his 3-point shots. His second game featured similar efficiency struggles, as he scored just 4 points on 2 of 10 shooting. Despite these rocky starts, the G League was the ideal setting for Bronny to refine his skills, particularly his shooting and decision-making, without the pressure of NBA expectations. Impressive performance. However, Bronny's G League stint didn't last long without a standout moment. His performance against the South Bay Lakers showcased flashes of potential, as he erupted for 30 points, while shooting an impressive 56% from the field. This game proved a turning point. He demonstrated his ability to balance aggression with smart basketball. Even in clutch moments, when the game slowed down, he showed that he could be counted on to make important plays. Although South Bay lost the game, it was clear that he was growing into his role. It wasn't just about scoring. His confidence and poise under pressure were evident, signaling that he was learning to perform in high-stakes situations. Bronny didn't stop there. In the subsequent game against the same opponent, he proved that his 30-point performance wasn't merely a fluke. He demonstrated his consistent capability to contribute with 16 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. Though he shot 6 of 20 from the field, the fact that he could still score on an inefficient night illustrated his growing comfort with scoring. Over the next few games, Bronny expanded his game beyond just scoring. Against the Greensboro Swarm, he tallied another 16 points, but more importantly, he added 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals, season highs in all categories. These performances indicated that he was not only becoming more efficient, diversifying his contributions, and evolving into a well-rounded player. Tip-off tournament. Bronny James's performance in the G League tip-off tournament showcased how much his game had developed. In 7 games with the South Bay Lakers, he averaged 13.4 points, 3.4 assists, 1.1 steals, and nearly a block per game. While his shooting efficiency needed improvement, hitting only 37% from the field and 21% from three-point range, his strides in other areas were undeniable. His confidence was growing, and his ability to contribute in multiple facets of the game highlighted his progress. The most significant improvement was his decision-making, as he appeared more poised and in control on the court. This newfound maturity indicated that Bronny was heading in the right direction, evolving into a more well-rounded player than anyone had expected at this early career stage. Bronny's momentum continued as he posted career-high numbers in multiple categories. In one standout game, he scored 15 points, while making 3 of 8 three-pointers. However, what truly stood out was his all-around contribution. He set career highs with 7 rebounds, 4 steals, and 6 assists, demonstrating his ability to impact the game in various ways. Despite the challenges of facing the same opponent in back-to-back games, Bronny responded with an even better performance. He recorded another 15 points, this time shooting 50% from the field and draining 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. His rebounding improved as he grabbed 9 boards, 3 of which came on the offensive glass. However, as Bronny hit his stride, the Lakers made a puzzling decision. After his impressive performances, they called him up to the NBA roster, only for him to play just 1 minute in a game against the Mavericks and 2 minutes against the Clippers. Even more confusing was his lack of playing time against the Washington Wizards, where he logged only 2 minutes again. This left many questioning why Bronny's momentum in the G League was interrupted by such limited exposure in the NBA. Frustrating strategy. The Lakers' approach to Bronny James's development became increasingly questionable as the season progressed. One of the most baffling decisions occurred when they gave him significantly more playing time in a nationally televised game against the reigning NBA champions, the Denver Nuggets. His performance did not unfold as planned when facing one of the league's best teams. His time on the court was limited, and it was clear that placing him in such high-stakes situations wasn't conducive to his development. Despite the limited minutes, he did what he could, scoring 5 points and grabbing 2 rebounds. However, his defensive efforts and composure were among the few positives noted. After the game, Bronny reflected on his performance and his current role, saying, "Thought I was pretty good. The role I'm playing, being a defensive guy, making the right plays, knocking down a couple threes, just filling a role. That's my biggest thing right now, is filling the role that my team needs." His acknowledgement of his role within the team emphasized his understanding of the situation. He wasn't expected to be the star, but to contribute where necessary. Recognizing that more minutes in these high-pressure situations were not benefiting him, the Lakers decided to send Bronny to the G League, a move many viewed as essential for his growth. In the G League, he would have the chance to develop his game and gain experience without the overwhelming expectations of national television exposure. The best game yet. Bronny's return to the G League was a turning point in his season. On January 24th, he performed best, scoring 31 points in a 35-minute outing against the Rep City Remix. He shot 45% from the field, hitting 5 three-pointers, and added 3 assists, 2 rebounds, and 2 steals. This breakout game was a crucial confidence booster for Bronny, demonstrating that he could carry a team and excel under pressure. The post-game interview revealed how much it meant to him, symbolizing his growth as a player and person. After this game, the narrative surrounding Bronny began to shift. His G League stats began to reflect his development as a legitimate professional. Averaging 23 points per game, he scored in the top 10 while improving his shooting efficiency to 43% from the field and 46% from the three-point range. Bronny also contributed in other areas, with 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals per game, proving he was a two-way player. This improvement showed that he was no longer just a prospect. He was demonstrating that he belonged in the G League and possibly beyond. Lakers' mistake. However, despite his success in the G League, the Lakers made another questionable decision by bringing Bronny back to the NBA for a game against the Philadelphia 76ers. He struggled tremendously in most of the minutes he had played in an NBA game to date, 15 minutes. He went 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 3 from three-point range, and committed 3 turnovers. The performance was a disaster, and unfortunately, his struggles were exacerbated by public criticism, including a post-game interview where J.J. Redick seemed to throw Bronny under the bus. This further highlighted the Lakers' mismanagement of his development. After the 76ers game, one might have expected the Lakers to give Bronny more time in the G League, but they continued to mishandle his playing time. Even during a blowout win against the Washington Wizards, Bronny played only 12 minutes, finishing with just 5 points. His only field goal came after 6 attempts, ending a long stretch without an NBA field goal. It was frustrating to see the Lakers fail to prioritize his development, as they kept placing him in situations that weren't conducive to growth. Time to reevaluate. Things began to change when the Lakers executed a blockbuster trade, acquiring Luka Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for Anthony Davis. This trade shifted the media's focus away from the Bronny-LeBron narrative, offering a much-needed respite for Bronny. With the spotlight now on Luka, he could return to the G League and continue his development in peace. Back in South Bay, he picked up right where he left off. In his first game after the trade, he recorded 16 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, and 3 steals. His confidence was clear in his play, and he followed it up with one of his best performances yet. He showcased his growth as a scorer and playmaker with 28 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists on 52% shooting. The Lakers, finally acknowledging his progress, called him up again. This time they created a situation where he could thrive. In a game centered around Luka's debut, he delivered his best NBA performance, scoring 9 points in just 7 minutes, shooting 3 for 4 from the field and 2 for 3 from beyond the arc. This time, the Lakers didn't throw him into the deep end, allowing him to build his confidence before returning him to the G League. Bronny's return to the G League saw him maintain his dominance. He posted 24 points on 63% shooting, including 66% from 3, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. His performance was his most efficient yet, illustrating that his growth wasn't solely about his numbers. It revolved around consistency and becoming a more complete player. In the following game, he contributed 16 points, 6 rebounds, and a season-high 8 assists, demonstrating his ability to impact every facet of the game. What comes next for Bronny? With his development advancing rapidly, the question for Bronny is what comes next? He must demonstrate that he possesses the talent, drive, and independence to achieve success independently. This will not be easy, and his recent performances indicate much work to be done. However, there is still hope for him. Bronny has exhibited significant improvement in the G League, averaging 21.9 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. His development is undeniable, and his turnaround has been impressive in such a short time. However, the Lakers need to manage his progression carefully. At just 20 years old, while he has shown he can excel in the G League, rushing him into an NBA rotation too soon could hinder his growth. The best strategy may be to keep him in the G League for the remainder of the season, allowing him to continue his development without the pressures of the NBA spotlight. After a successful stint in the offseason, possibly through the Summer League or preseason. So, while Bronny James has faced countless challenges and criticism, he continues to push forward, showing signs of growth and resilience. The real question is, will the Lakers finally give him the space to develop, or will they continue to mishandle his career?